Welcome all to historic Crew Stadium in Columbus, Ohio, where we join you from one of America's most hallowed patches in the sport tonight. It's a home side that appeared to have come out the other side of a bumpy beginning. The visitors, ambitious enough to maintain altitude up amongst the elite in the Eastern Conference and its capital contestants. Howdy, folks. I'm Peyton Gallagher, and this is Columbus Crew 2 and New York Red Bulls 2, a famed rivalry within the Eastern Conference down the last couple of years, including two of the East's best teams in MLS NEXT Pro in its first couple of seasons of operation. It should be a good one. Both sides riding decent veins of form as they arrive at the doorstep of this fixture. And as for Columbus Crew 2 and Fede Higuain, it is that 3-4-3 that is so hallmark to the home side at both senior and MLS NEXT Pro level. It's Cole Maraca trying to continue his good run at the front of a front three, as well as Adu Gianfi, two players that will operate in the half space with players getting around them, providing the width in the form of Alloway and Elliott. Rincon and Sai run things from the middle of the park. Prestes, Rogers, and Palacios make up a back three. As for New York Red Bulls 2, and what they offer here today, it's a furious side. They play with a lot of vim and vigor, pressing their opponent, trying to speed things up and play the game at a high tempo. Back in the starting 11 today, Mijair Jimenez off the right side of that front two. It will play as a 4-2-2 at times, and again, the name of the game is speeding things up. Jimenez coming off a game in which he scored versus New England Revolution 2. A 4-1 victory for the road side today, and Ibrahim Sekagaya stepping into this one. As we prepare you for live pictures, two of the sides in this league that have real determining power. You might think the end of the season in the East, maybe lifting some silverware in the final stage for Federico Higuain and Columbus Crew 2 in his first year in this position, coming up from Inter Miami 2, where he was the manager a year ago. Really starting to feel like it's a group that's finding themselves with a new manager, giving instruction. 2 wins, 2 draws, 4 losses on the year, but those victories have come in quick succession in recent weeks. A side that have been very good at home as well. The road side have won every single rendition of this game in 5 previous playings. That will be good news for New York Red Bulls 2 as they step into this contest today. Again, fresh off a victory against New England Revolution 2 that saw them quite good for goals. That is a hallmark for this group. They are top 5 in the league in that department with over 20 on the year. Josiah Park is the center official. He hands the ball off to the 22 involved in determining the contest. We prepare ourselves for what should be something that is rip-roaring. No Chase Adams in the starting 11 today. The 17-year-old, famous for scoring 10 goals for the U.S. Youth National Team. He has been a fixture at the front end for Columbus Crew 2. Not in the 11 at the start this evening, as we are in motion in Ohio and quickly applying that hallmark pressure are Red Bulls 2. And forcing the giveaway. It is in the DNA of this Red Bulls program to compete, to set the high tenor of intensity. But straight away, it's Columbus Crew 2 finding some leakage and heading into the box. Cutting to the byline, headed away at the goal mouth. And skipping in with the cover, Red Bulls 2, a nervy moment at the beginning. It's a styles make fights kind of game. Columbus Crew 2, a side that like to be confident on the ball, play a flowy and fluid style. You'll see plenty of interchange from them, players swapping positions and picking up spaces upstream. For Red Bulls 2, it's in your face. But you never want to draw the lines of a contest too starkly. Both sides, in some ways, mirror the other. We've seen all the way up to senior level with Red Bulls 2, a more intent, you might say, purposefulness, trying to play with the ball. And Columbus Crew 2 in the mold and visage of their manager, Federico Higuain, a distinguished professional who had a decorated career in MLS. He's an intense character that wants his side to, in his own words, never play afraid, always be willing to run at an opponent to dictate the terms of the game. And set to come. Palacios. On the way back to the goalkeeper. Stas Lapkis getting the nod today. And over the top, it's going to fall into the clutch of Aiden Stokes. Stokes with a clean sheet today can enter the top 5 in Red Bulls 2's MLS NEXT Pro history for total clean sheets in a career. It's been something that's hard to come by for Red Bulls down the years. Aiden Jarvis splitting a line. Space is tight and hard to come by.
I'm going to work on the iris. I don't know why it's not really improving, but I'm going to.
Knocking it around, Columbus Crew 2. They're going to want to watch the way Red Bulls almost stalk the ball, waiting for their moment to charge up. The pressing trigger that they've so chosen for the opponent. A little bit of a nervy header back to Aiden Stokes, but he's able to be worked out by the goalkeeper. Marcelo Morales injected into the team today and doing well under duress. Columbus Crew 2 trying to provide a dose of Red Bulls 2's own medicine there. Foul is given though. Colawasso. Another sharp and quick whistle. That is again Josiah Park, who's running the park today in the center with the whistle. Race Williams and Adam Sala bob up and down the line. Trevor Haddock is the one working the board as the 4th official today. Away by Stokes.
Cause a distraction while you're live. So if there's like a replay or anything you guys might go to, if you let me know.
Contained by Mehmeti. Marcelo Morales nearly given away. Summarily sorted by Mehmeti, who slips it ahead. And with width is Red Bulls 2, but a faulty, quickly taken entry into the box is going to be intercepted by the goalkeeper. Another look at it. It was Andy Rojas who was striking out and didn't quite wrap his foot all the way around that. Jimenez was lurking in the center.
Does that look good?
And Lapkus will be under quick pressure again as we resume play. Red Bulls bring the line of engagement high. That's left some space in behind. Ball trickles out of touch for a throw. Just mentioning the success of the two programs here today, specifically underscoring that of Crew 2. 45+ points, double-digit wins for them every year that they've existed in NEXT Pro. They've reached at least the Eastern Conference Final in every year they've competed this last 3-season period for them. Had some growing pains this year early on. And They might experience more now. Shuffling in, and what a save it is! Stas Lopkis takes one off the board. That had eyes for the top corner. Marcelo Morales carved out the half yard and put laces to it. And that is a stunning stop. Red Bulls having much success exploring the space in behind on the quick outstrike. Another chance to turn the temperature up from the corner flag, taken short, and the referee is going to sort something out in the box. As mentioned previous, Red Bulls have scored the second most goals in the East, third most in the league heading into today. 21 in total. Plenty of threat from dead balls. It's a useful delivery, skipped across the goal mouth and out for another corner this time from the opposite flag. Marcelo Morales will make the long run to recover the ball and take aim from this near-sided corner flag. This time without swing. Chopped along into zone 14. Andy Rojas styling one up. Lopkis is up for it this time. And thundered away. Adri Mametti. Pumped in behind. Benedetti attaches himself and snatched away for a throw. Return to sender. 10 minutes in. It's been Red Bulls that have manufactured the best chances. A bit of hand fighting draws the attention of the referee and allows Columbus to get up the pitch. Out of touch. Just to underscore exactly how much of a hallmark the tenacity, the pace, the tempo the Red Bulls play with. They've averaged 83 duels per 90 that they have won. Just for context on that number specifically, with Columbus, find it in and around the 60s on the year. This will be a close quarters type of battle today. Colawaso, an inspecting ball in behind, well dealt with and handled. Foul is awarded, as Jimenez was the one that was leading the line. Dearth of options to aim at ahead of this set piece. There are 5 players in this Red Bulls 2 side that have scored at least 2 goals this year. Plenty of threat in and around the box. Something routines. A bit too high. The knock-on header. Smashed away by Palacios. It will stay on the field for quite some time and eventually move out for a goal kick. And this is the signature of the Crew system. They will play short out of the back in the face of whatever's in front of them. And that's strong work on the ball from Chris Rogers. Crew early on, a lot of early direct inquiries in behind that back three into the wide spaces, something to keep tabs on as we move forward. Morocco. Tidy work on the ball. Size calling for it. Does receive. Plucked away by Morales. And it's a Red Bulls 2 throw. They'll cue for another throw. This time it belongs to Crew 2. Chris Rogers, baton in hands. Palacios. Red Bulls 2 extend to meet the ball. Morocco. Sai. Ibra Sai is nearly dispossessed, but whittles away and senses the runner oncoming. Morales steps in just in the nick of time. And custody belongs to Andy Rojas. Now he's lost it. Trading of possession on this near flank. Crew 2 able to win the joust. Early on, it's been all about the duels. Flags down for now. Aiden Stokes had to come up and meet it. Not taking any chances, delivering out of play. Both sides entering today, coming off victories. It was a shutout, clean sheet result for Columbus Crew 2 in their last one against Cincinnati 2, their parochial foe. 1-0 the final there. They've had much more success in their home venue this season. 2 wins and a draw. It's been an outsized proportion of their games on the road in the league this year. Of course, also having to deal with the participation in the U.S. Open Cup that saw them knock off USL Championship side Lexington SC. Another foul is awarded. And there's room, and sensing it, New York Red Bulls 2. Released wide. Morales in. It sits up, it's stuck away. It's still on though. Serwada. And thundered out for a goal kick. Ibrahim Kasoué never quite had a full grip of the plot there, it felt like. Lower mortgage rates. That's simple. Finance your home at lower.com. Nothing has been simple though. They're trying to escape their own end for Columbus Crew 2. And Lapkus, who opens up, looks wide. That's where he guides the ball. Stepping up again. It's Ross. For a second, there may be a whistle blown, but it never comes. Ibra Sai, he's toppled. This time, center official will halt play. With the sense that Josiah Park might be putting in the steps today, trying to marshal this contest and keep a lid on it. Palacios and Rogers and Sai. Intercepted by Jarvis. He loops it over the head of Rojas. Elliott. Press this with a feint. Those two having to regather their shape behind the ball. Into the area, set down well. Got a cross goal and stepped out for a corner. The first of the game for Columbus Crew 2 was Christian Ortiz. We got the first look at it as it fell to his feet. Ortiz making his first start in the last 4 games today. Unable to cash in there, but he is the team's leader in headed shots on the year. Maybe a chance to make use of this corner kick as he waits on at the back post. Morocco is the short man. Patterning well, delivered in. And held up kindly. And still there in the box before being crashed away. Most danger that Crew 2 have introduced into the game, and realistically the first 17 minutes all told. Very deliberate, walking the ball over to this near side as Prestis to allow his teammates to find their natural positions on the field. Another darting run in behind. And it's going to come off. Alloway. Adu Giamfi. Shuttled infield, cut a cross goal, and stepped away again. Covering Marcelo Morales, who's touched really every blade of grass on this near flank, it feels like so far. Adu Giamfi into his path. And it's nothing more than a goal kick. Marcelo Morales as he receives the ball, a badly tipped player from Chile, native of San Miguel, making his first real introductions into this Red Bull setup. A player that the senior team has significant hopes for. Getting bedded in at this MLS Next Pro level. Of course, goes without saying that these two sides are maybe two of the best in the league at producing products from their academy and through MLS Next Pro. Into the area, go Columbus Crew 2. It's going to skip off the woodwork. Not sure if Stokes got a hand to it, but Red Bulls 2, heart and mouth stuff as the ball found itself right on the doorstep there. And they dig the trenches to defend another corner. Within swing. Stokes supplies the knuckle. Alloway. Press this onto it. The center back with strides into the area, and it's out for a goal kick. Prestis never uncomfortable in more advanced positions, has offered himself up as a midfielder at times when his team has required it, settling into a role on the right side of that back three this year. That time unable to make it stick, but it's Columbus Crew 2 that seem to have much more of the scent right now. Evaluating the options, it's Elliott. Jab back. Morales finding the feet of a friend. That's a lovely ball. Rometti providing. Rojas advancing. Morales around him, the back heel. Red Bulls 2 on approach. It skips off the head of the man in the middle. That was Benedetti. Still probing. Morales with space and time. A slashing pass into the area that's cut off by Staslapkis. Custis. Sai in a tight spot. Somehow is able to keep the ball. Velcro on his boots there, and his side have a chance to really cause some havoc to advance into the final third. Moraka. Settling of the tempo. Eberside. This is where the interchange and movement from Columbus Crew 2 can certainly take center stage. Palacios. One-touch stuff. And a swift kick to end it. Loasso getting his 2 cents in. Nationwide, the official insurance partner of the Columbus Crew. And on the front foot now, the home side. An important intervention from Steven Serwata, who now has attacking ideas. Infield. Just ran away from Kasule. Working through the clutter and flotsam, Columbus Crew 2. Side. Prestus. It's going to sit up for Elliott, who flies in across, and Stokes is up for it. And pays the toll as well, absorbing the contact, winning the whistle. Adu Giamfi was the one racing in. Adu Giamfi scored in the 2 most recent renditions of this matchup. Was looking to make it 3 on the skip. Unable to arrive in time there in that particular instance, though. Stokes is back to his feet. Stokes also featured in 2 of the 3 matchups a year ago against Columbus Crew 2. Conceded 5 goals in those games. He'll be feeling good, though, about how his side has been able to defend so far. Serwata. Jarvis. Kalawase. Sloping into a good space. Jimenez. Fighting off Palacios and running out of road. He feels he should have been offered a foul. Those 2 have had not much success accessing those number 9s today, namely Jimenez. Offering the big and the big little relationship, if you will, with Andy Rojas. Jimenez occupying the role of that backboard. Oh, fleet feet. Elliott's still weaving and whittling and wins a throw for his trouble. Sometimes the technical ability of these Columbus Crew 2 players can simply send your head spinning. Alloway. Palacios. Pushed wide. Prestus on the charge. His pass is blocked on its path, but able to retain. Rincon. Prestus retreating back to his own ends. He's on the opposite side. It's Chris Rogers who's lost the ball. Serwata. Still Serwata with the sombrero dribble. Rogers gets his get back and gets it out for a corner. Moment of opportunity for Red Bulls 2. Here it comes. Nobody's waiting for it as it lands at the back post. Neither side has blinked yet. It's been everything, though, that was promised by the offering. Contrasting styles coming into contact. Sparks have flown. Just not that meaningful moment yet. Sawada. Aiden Jarvis. It's ushered away by Palacios. And it's a clean tackle, shoulder to shoulder. Kasule was the one in for it. Coming just on the topic of Ibrahim Kasule, Ugandan forward player, currently 1 goal away from becoming the all-time leading goal scorer for Red Bulls 2 in MLS Next Pro. It's not factoring for their experience in the USL ranks prior to joining up in Next Pro. On 23 total for his captivating career today. Crew 2 doing their best to work out from their own end. Rincon. And taking the free kick immediately are Columbus Crew 2. But is going to be summoned back. Ohio Health, official healthcare provider and fan of the Columbus Crew. Ohio Health, believe in we. And the reason play was brought back is because it might actually be a Red Bulls 2 free kick. They want to take that again. 3.5 hour mark, no point of difference yet. Increasing physicality, the only thing to write home about. Anyway, losing the beat there, Columbus Crew 2, and probably lucky to just have to retreat back into their own end to defend again. Steadying first touch and pushed wide for Morales. Morales charges a ball into the box. Lanced away by Kasule. He's got a taste for goal. That's well established. And his appetite is increasing here, drawing closer. Really nice picking of the run as Jimenez slanted towards the back post. Kasule ducked in and replaced, got across the face of the defender, just couldn't knot it home. And press this away. A neat spin. Naraka opening things up. Columbus Crew 2 working through the gears. Rogers. Palacios. Rogers again. Naraka joining up in the pivot. Plastering passes about Columbus Crew 2. Rincon. Elliott. That didn't go when it was supposed to. Crew 2 with it. An inspecting ball over the top. Sawada sprinting in to intervene. He fights it off for a second. Great recovery defense, but Columbus Crew 2 right there with the threat. Quickly vanishes though. And Now it's Red Bulls 2 on approach. And they can't work out the final phase. Feels like both sides are right on the precipice. Each team have had moments in which they could have fashioned an opportunity. It's Crew 2 with the tools in hand right now. And not enough gas in the tank for Giamfi to arrive in time. Giamfi back into the starting 11 in this one. First start in 4 for him in MLS Next Pro. How's Morales worked that out? Now Jarvis. Each of these teams refusing to relinquish a single inch today. Jimenez was arriving on the scene as Lapkus boomed away. It's a free kick for Columbus Crew 2. That's cheeky, off the chest of Rincon. Columbus Crew 2 though heading in the wrong direction. This is where Red Bulls 2 can really squeeze the vice. And win the ball. Kasule lost his footing and has won a free kick in prime real estate. Tension building. Feels any moment this game will really start to pop off, and it could be right now. Plenty of quality in this team to go for goal. Drawing up all the blueprints. Red Bulls 2. It appears it's a shared responsibility between Kasule and Marcelo Morales. Morales will have the honors. In hopes of securing a watershed goal in his young Red Bulls career. Lapkus is his obstacle with a 4-man barricade set up. Marcelo Morales! Just tall. Just tall. It's inches, if that. Precisely how close. That's about as well stricken as it gets. An inch lower and it's clipping off the bar. Not often you see a player go opposite side trying to bend it around the wall like that. You have to have real confidence in your technique. Jimenez nearly got there. Rincon's able to save it for Crew 2. Morocco presents the option upfield. Morocco hammering one to the wide side. And there's green grass over there. Solana doing his best to close quickly. Rincon, a faulty first touch. He's chopped down. Leaving the leg out was Mehmeti. He would have been fortunate to escape without a booking. He's the first name taken today. Only his second yellow card of the season. A player that's played every minute the last 7 games. He will have to play the rest of this one with abundant caution.
Yellow card has been assessed to New York.
The Bulls had some issues with red cards a year ago. That problem has somewhat vanished this season. But it is just kind of a byproduct of the combative nature of their preferred way of play. Ibrasai. A suave delivery. Aiden Stokes stands his ground. It was Elliott who got the jab in, but it's just a glancing blow, and the goalkeeper does well to keep it at 0-0. Best chance of the game so far for Columbus Crew 2. What a ball from Ibrasai to open that all up. Elliott needed to conjure a bit more to get the best of one of the league's best goalkeepers in Aiden Stokes. It's a goal kick. Crew 2 playing with a heightened heart rate after a nearly moment just seconds ago. Taken in by Ortiz, held up by Ortiz. Tamed by Serwada. And lifted forward for Kasule, who streams ahead. Jimenez is calling for it. Now he receives it. Reinforcements arriving at the top of the area for Red Bulls 2. Kulawaso peeling in to receive the ball there. Andy Rojas, Morales, Mehmeti. And in the pockets, Aiden Jarvis. This is a dangerous man. Jimenez couldn't work it out on the second touch. Snagged back though. Kulawaso, now Mehmeti. Benedetti, out of him Serwada. In full flow for Red Bulls 2, and right on cue. Moonshot it out of touch for a goal kick. There is a Columbus Crew 2 player that's down. Palacios that found himself ailing. And in light of that fact, the goalkeeper is going to send everybody upfield for a longer goal kick this time around. Lapkus not wanting to take the risk associated with playing short to a player that might be hobbling. And Palacios. It may prove a prudent decision, as it's going to stick with Anu Giamfi. Pitched back by Red Bulls 2. Stokes. Serwada and Benedetti restricting the space. Flashed out of touch. It will be a Crew 2 throw-in. Trying to extend their advantage in this recent run of games against Red Bulls 2. Having taken victory in the last two exchanges back last season. Still gridlocked. Hearing the curtain fall in the first half here in Ohio. A stiff header taken in by Morales. Mehmeti. And Morales again. Kasule. Intercepted in the mid-park. There might be 6 players confined into a 20-yard patch of pitch. Palacios. Engaged at the touchline and somehow going to float back and play, and then backspin over the line. Jimenez back to goal. Now Morales. Some stud marks left on the leg of Jimenez as he goes to ground, and the yellow card will be shown. Looks like to Malcolm Palacios. Preparing for a free kick. A look back at the foul. Palacios just got a bit flat-footed. Looks like he almost got to the ball first, but the touch was a loose one. And as Jimenez was able to meet it, also felt the sting of opposition's studs on his ankle. So depending on the flight of the delivery, it's either Morales or Kasule. Kasule does have 3 assists on the year so far. Over to Morales, in by Kasule, needed more lift. Just waiting on the board to go up. 2 minutes from the end of the 45 allotted. Rojas. Widen for Morales. Morales dancing and ducking. Oh, that's fabulous. But maybe a bit too much there as it just runs away from him. Sherwana takes it now. Kasule over the toes of Jimenez, who will keep it on. Morales thought about it first time. Does the calculus. A block to it, back across goal. Sherwana taking a spin. It's a bit biteless though. That was always going to be quite ambitious. Can't fault him for trying. Can't imagine there's going to be much stoppage time. It's pretty much been a non-stop first half. If Red Bulls 2 and Columbus Crew 2 have tried to solve one another. Sticking in his side. Holloway taken to ground illegally, and free kick coming. The board is being calibrated.
The fourth official has indicated a minimum
The word is 1 minute.
stoppage time.
60 seconds to see if there might be something to change the halftime team talk. Sherwana trying to write that particular passage. Kasule. Jimenez skids away from him. Crew 2 have hardly been out of their own half in this last 15 minutes or so. Sherwana getting busy. Left behind Rojas. One last go of it for Crew 2 maybe. They will attempt that from a free kick. Chance to really commit some resources and press the ball into the box. A shove from Rincon. They're going to ask him to take some extra space. I don't know why you'd want to take the free kick from deeper. This will basically, I would imagine, be treated like a goal kick from midfield. Everybody into the area, see if you can win the knockdown. It's actually played short. Elliott couldn't needle between a pair of defenders, and that brings us to the break. Inseparable, and that feels fair between Columbus Crew 2 and Red Bulls 2. Handful of actual chances and many more half chances decorate the first 45 of play here in Ohio, where once more our score at the break is 0-0. First half highlights and a look at our upcoming schedule are later on in our halftime coverage. But first, April Marie Aguilar made her way to the land of 1,000 lakes to visit Minnesota United FC 2. She sat down with head coach Jeremy Hall in this week's Coach's Corner.
Welcome to this episode of Coach's Corner. I'm April Marie Aguilar. Joining me today is Jeremy Hall, head coach of Minnesota United FC 2. How are you doing today, Coach?
I'm great, thank you. How are you?
I'm doing fabulous. You've been with the club since its inaugural season in 2022. What does it feel like to you to have been with this organization since its inception? Yeah,
I've been very blessed, to be honest. I've gotten to work with some really good coaches here. I've learned a lot, and then to be able to step into a role as a head coach, I think just from a personal standpoint, I'm still learning and finding myself, and really grateful for the club to give me such a big role at the club. And so I'm really excited to be here, going on year 4, and just looking to continuing the success that we've had so far.
And what ultimately inspired you to even want to become a coach?
Ooh, it's a good question. Just from playing, I've had some really good coaches, some really bad coaches, and I always just felt like, I just want to be able to mentor and be around the guys. You can only play for so long. I still feel like being on the field is the next best thing, and so being able to share some of those experiences, positive and negative, that I've learned through other coaches and just being involved in the game, I just felt like I would love to give back. And so I love my time on the field. I love being able to build relationships with the players. I love to help them get to where they ultimately want to be and play at a high level. And so be able to help share those experiences and be on the field, it's been awesome. And you mentioned having played professionally, and you did 8 seasons in Major League Soccer. Given your experience as a player, aside from mentoring, what else do you find yourself now implementing into your coaching career? Just really being myself and just being real. A lot of coaches want to talk tactics, and I think that's a big part of the game, but for me, I talk more behaviors and being aggressive and playing with intensity, and for me, hating to lose. And so if you can show up every day and try and get better, I think at the end of the day, you give yourself a better chance to be successful, because at this level that we're at, there's a lot of good players, and for me, it's how do you separate yourself. And so I believe just like working hard, winning your individual duels. I like to say just like being a dog on the field. I think that can, really get you into that next level. And how do you feel like that gives you an advantage, even having been a player, to just become more or build stronger relationships with your players? Well, I think the relationship piece is soccer aside. It's getting to know these kids and their families and how they're doing in school, and what are they doing on the weekends away from school, away from the field. And so I feel like whether they're playing, whether they're not, whether in a good moment, whether in a bad moment, in the second team space, we have guys coming down, so everybody's headspace is totally different. And so for me, it's just trying to be, I guess, a friend, first and foremost, just somebody that they can confide in. And then when they're on the field, when those relationships are built, I can really push them and try and demand all the other stuff out of them. And so for me, I really pride myself on that.
Lob ball up ahead, shipped over the keeper. Oh, how about that? The ball ends up with Chandler. He controls inside the box, flips it back in, and another goal for Minnesota. And now going into year 2 as a leader of this team, how do you personally feel like you've grown, not just as an individual, but as a coach just within this year? Yeah, well, you have the final say in a lot of things like that, right? And so when you're building out a training week, a training month, the details that go into the training session, when you're traveling, what flight do you want to get on, all these different things, everything comes through you. And so really being organized, really being just open, right? Like our assistant coach have a lot of say in that, right? Like I don't like to take everything and just giving them the platform to, be able to coach and lead like that. And so making everything super collaborative, I can step back at times and kind of put myself in when I need to, but sharing the space with the other coaches and the players has made me just be me.
And I admire that about you, is as soon as we told you that you were named Coach of the Month, you right away were like, it's not just me, you know, it is a team and a collaborative effort. Ultimately for the team, what would you consider a successful season?
That's a hard one in our space. For me, I always believe that winning is a part of development. And so I think with anything, if you're going into a season, I think everybody says we want to make the playoffs, we want to win the championship. I think when you look at it like that from perspective, yeah, that's great. In our space and development, we want to help these guys get into the first team. And so when I see some of the guys like, you know, Alex Smear play with the first team or Loic play with the first team, you know, some of the first team guys that are returned to play, DJ Taylor getting in and Sam Shishoa, when these guys come into our space, it makes me feel good because, you know, they're getting fitter, they're getting stronger, they're getting more confident, and, you know, hopefully we can continue to see more guys from the second team get into the first team.
Awesome. Well, best of luck to you guys this season, Coach. And we can't wait to see what else is in store for you all.
Thank you so much.
But in the meantime, y'all, this is it for this episode of Coach's Corner. Be sure to tune in to our next episode to see who I'll be talking to with next. We'll catch you guys next time. For now, I'm April Marie Aguilar. Bye.
I know I'm really attracted. I'm hanging on like a fridge to a magnet. It's a jigsaw with all the right pieces. You and me, we go good together. You and I go good together. You and I, we go good together. We go good together.
Great stuff there from April Marie with Jeremy Hall. As we welcome you back to Ohio. Again, our score at the break is 0-0, and we're going to look ahead to the league's upcoming schedule in a moment. But first, on her visit to Minnesota, April Marie Aguilar had a chance as well to sit down and meet 22-year-old forward Logan Dorsey in this week's player profile.
Thank you again for joining me on this episode of Player Profile. I'm April Marie Aguilar, and today joining me is Logan Dorsey of Minnesota United FC2. Thanks so much for the time, Logan.
Of course. Thank you for having me.
Yes, thank you. Well, just this December, you were selected by Minnesota United in the Super Draft. Then you signed with the team in March.
Yep.
Then in just your second game, you scored your first goal, followed by a brace in the next. Describe to me what these last couple of months have been like for you.
Yeah, no, it's been quite a whirlwind, no doubt. I mean, you know, coming in, getting drafted, you know, an unbelievable feeling, and you get a call saying, hey, you have 2 weeks to come and prove yourself, and it's like, great, like, let's do it. And no, so it was great, you know, to get experience with the first team and to kind of get in that environment and see what it's like, and then, you know, an unbelievable feeling to sign a second team contract and you know, kind of get that going and get that process going is awesome. And, you know, coming in and scoring a few goals is great. You know, I'm glad to be able to help the team. So it's been fun, an experience for sure.
And what would a successful season look like for you?
For me, a successful season is, you know, our goal as a team is to win it all. You know, we want to win the league, and I strongly believe that we have the ability to do that with the players that we have and the talent we have, you know, coming up and down from the first team, you know, all the switches. Like, I feel like we've embraced that really well as a group early on in the season, and I think we're going to continue to do that.
Now, I want to talk a little bit about your brother, because he plays for Houston Dynamo. What was the competitive nature like between the two of you growing up?
That's a good question. You know, I think the competitive nature when we were kids was always wanting to beat each other. I think that blossomed into a really great relationship that I have with him now, more of a support role than a competitive role. But, you know, of course, as kids, like, you want to be better, you want to beat him, and, you know, I think that helped propel both of us into, you know, taking the next step in our careers. So I think it was a positive, but now that it's blossomed into a good, comforting relationship, I think it's great.
And his journey, I mean, how has that influenced your own approach to the game?
Yeah, it's, you know, he's given me a lot of support throughout my career. You know, I've obviously, as every career does, like, you have a lot of struggles and you have a lot of things and going on. And I think that his help to me has been Like, without words, it's been probably the greatest thing in my career so far. Like, having someone like him that's been through it all, that's been through what I'm going through is unbelievable. So having that support system is great, and I can't thank him enough for that.
And you mentioned struggles. How have those struggles actually led you to where you are now?
Yeah, I think, I would say the biggest thing for an aspiring pro athlete is being able to deal with struggle. And, dealing with struggle is hard for a lot of people, and it's hard for everybody. So being able to deal with that and kind of take positives and little things away from everything that you're doing, even when you're in one of those slumps, is I think that's the greatest thing you can do as an athlete.
And is there a specific moment or perhaps piece of advice that Griffin has provided you that's had a significant impact on you?
I would say the biggest thing that he's done for me is kind of just been there. He's been there, through the successes and saying, hey, maybe you don't need to get so high on this, or, when you're in a low, hey, you're good, you're right where you need to be. I think kind of just being there constantly throughout the entire process has been great. Kind of keeping me balanced is one thing that he does really well, which I really appreciate.
And you're certainly lucky because you do have a brother who's a professional.
Yeah.
But with that being said, how important is it to just have that support system?
Oh yeah, I think it's everything. I struggle with it because I think everybody needs it, and I'm so grateful that I have it, but not everybody has it, So I think, it's a great advantage for me, and maybe being able to pass on some of the information that he gives to me to other players that are struggling within our team, and close friends, I think is great to be able to do.
I love that. Well, best of luck to you and your team, Logan.
Thank you so much.
And thank you so much for tuning into this episode of Player Profile. Be sure to tune in next time to see who I'll be talking to. For now, I'm April Marie. We'll see you guys next time. Bye.
Action.
If I got it, then I bought it. Take a bite, cause I want it. And I know I got the taste for the cake. And I take what I make and I flaunt it, flaunt it. Got diamonds on my necklace. I look how I like. So looks is getting reckless. I'm feeling myself and you can't break my vibe. I'm feeling myself and you can't break my vibe. You can't break my vibe. You can't break my vibe.
Drawing to the end of the intermission, it's scoreless here at historic Crew Stadium in Columbus, Ohio, but not without action. Highlights from the first half between Columbus Crew 2 and New York Red Bulls 2. And it started off with Red Bulls on the front foot. Lapkus forced into a save, taking one off the board. It was Marcelo Morales who was testing the target on that particular occasion, taking his turn there. Andy Rojas. Now Crew 2 trying to get in on the action, a cutback, forcing an intervention from Aiden Stokes, who made a couple of saves in the first half. Here's another, cutting a cross off at the near post and holding on through the contact. Back down the other way, be Marcelo Morales at the heart of things again, delivering a cross that found the head of Kasule, who couldn't guide it towards target. Morales again from a free kick, just narrowly missing there. This is maybe the best chance of the half for Columbus Crew 2, landing just on the doorstep, unable to break through Clinton Elliott. And this is one of 5 crosses in the first half for Marcelo Morales, cued back across the goal mouth before being headed away into the path of Sirwana, who would strike it straight into the gloves of Lapkus. And stats from that first half, most of the shots belonging to Red Bulls 2, but with 3 on target, unable to break through a couple of fine stops from Las Lapkus to keep it all square. The passing accuracy has been right around 75 to 80% as both sides try and close down the space and make it difficult to play between lines. It was a contentious first half. You would imagine that to color much of the contest here in the next 45. But for now, let's look at some of the other fixtures on tap around MLS Next Pro. Exiting match week 11, starting on Wednesday, will be Real Monarchs and Timbers 2. And of course, Minnesota United FC 2 got a great chance to look inside their program at halftime. That makes up the doubleheader on Wednesday. Red Bulls 2 back in action against Atlanta at the weekend. It would be away to Chicago Fire for Columbus Crew 2 on Sunday, June 1st, wrapping up that weekend of play. As we step back out to live pictures here in Ohio, Crew 2 and New York Red Bulls 2 trying to get the better of one another. All-important day again in the Eastern Conference, now into those double-digit match day numbers and games starting to gain consequence as teams have had the time to figure themselves out and figure out what works. Time to make up ground for Columbus Crew 2 that find themselves just one spot off the bottom of a tightly packed Eastern Conference. Red Bulls 2 entering today in third in the East, trying to extend their good form through another away day. Back in motion. No halftime substitutions for either side. Down by Rincon. And on the chase, Adu Gianfi, commonly the thorn in the side of Red Bulls 2. Adu Gianfi has space, cut in! And it falls finally and firmly into the hands of Aiden Stokes, who's grateful to grab it as he was at the mercy of the oncoming runners. Always a palpitating moment for a goalkeeper when the ball is able to get across your face at the near posts. Unscathed in that instance, though, Red Bulls 2. There's Adu Gianfi, who was turned up to 10 straight out of the halftime locker room. Mehmeti. Between Mehmeti and Aiden Jarvis, you'd be hard-pressed to find a cleaner on-the-ball pairing of pivot players in MLS Next Pro. Here is Mehmeti. Went for the no-look and instead played it straight into the referee, which will stop play. Things resumed with a drop ball. And maybe just a skosh of embarrassment for Josiah Park. I'm not sure anybody could have gotten out of the way of that one, though. Red Bulls 2 on the move. Into the box, set it down by Jimenez. It's a bounce pass out of play, but flashing their teeth for a moment, both sides in the first 90 seconds of the half, fashioning significant chances. Jimenez will think to himself that he should have done better. Almost seemed as if he had taken his eyes off the ball to get a look at the target before hitting it. And as the ball arrived on his head, he was unable to glance it on goal. What a settling touch out in the wide space by Rojas, who ducks away from a tackle, and it finds the feet of Sawada. Sometimes the tempo can drop off in that first 5 minutes of the new half, but it feels like we're right where we left off between these two. Much more Peyton Gallagher taking you through the breadth and width of the 90 minutes and all the colors that come with. Rainbowing in for Adu Gianfi. Contested well. Colawaso unable to get the ball off him, but did enough to put him off Adu Gianfi, and the ball is out of play. Controlling much of the possession was Columbus Crew 2 in the first half, about 55%. Red Bulls 2 entering today, having commanded 59% of the ball against New England Revolution 2, their most in their last 16 games. Having to roll up their sleeves defensively today. Jimenez grapples it back and is called for the foul. Just a tad too physical in repossessing the ball. In terms of first half cautions, only the names Audrey Mehmeti and Malcolm Palacios have been taken today. All players remaining on the field to start the first act of the second half. Another arcing ball in behind. Again, it's Adu Gianfi who gets there first. And Applauds the box entering pass as it finds Aiden Stokes. There's Anthony Alloway, who's trying to play provider. A clean sheet is a rare sight, a bit of a unicorn when Red Bulls 2 are involved. Hardly anybody has ever kept them out for the full duration of 90 minutes, but Crew 2 are one of only 3 teams ever in MLS Next Pro to achieve that feat. As it sits 0-0 here. Both these sides realistically quite good for goals historically. Columbus Crew 2 had 62 of them a year prior, this past season in 2024. And many of those players who supplied them coming back this year. Without their leading light though today, Chase Adams, their number 9. Maybe feeling his absence in terms of the final products. Adams with only 3 goals on the campaign so far, but he's put 9 shots on target, so you would say he's probably due for a broader output than what he's been able to provide so far. Conducting move from deep in their own end. Dicing with danger there was Palacios. The bravery seems to have paid off for now. Maraca. Clean 1-2. Marcelo Morales, 5 crosses in the first half, gets in his first of the second half. So make its way through. Rojas stings the gloves of the goalkeeper. Riled back and had a whack, Andy Rojas. Bit of a duel for it. Aiden Jarvis softening first touch to open up for Sawada. Trying to split the line with Sawada. Unable to make it stick. Alloway, he's dispossessed. An arresting tackle. Now Sawada on the front foot. Slotted back in. Benedetti can't needle through. And away by Alloway. Only a couple players still up in the attacking half for Columbus Crew 2, and it's back to Stokes. Maybe a man down behind it all. Powering life's most important moments. American Electric Power and powering the move ahead. It was New York Red Bulls 2. There's a chance falling at the feet of Andy Rojas, and there is a man down. Physio's on and Bonnie's in motion for Columbus Crew 2 as they prepare options in case the injured player cannot continue. Attention directed elsewhere as the move had flown into the attacking half for Crew 2 with the man down behind it. It's been a hard-hitting game. It's taken a toll. And it's, in some ways, kind of set the conditions for this one. And it may just come down to who has enough focus and will to carry themselves across the line. It was Anthony Alloway who had the initial clearance to set up that counterattack for Crew 2. That was injured. He is able to wobble off under his own power. Jarvis. In behind, Red Bulls 2. American Electric Power, a proud sponsor of Columbus Crew. Right now, trying to empower the defense, the home side. And bending around the corner, that's Chris Rogers. Actually, that appeared to be Owen Prestis, who's switched sides in the back three, at least for the moment. There's a bridge too far, and Red Bulls 2 collect for a throw-in. Alloway appears to be ready to rejoin the action at the nearest convenience. Andrew Mametti and now Jarvis. Sirwada wide. Look at the organization and compactness from Columbus Crew 2, shrinking the space between lines. In off the head of Jimenez. Able to plow it all the way wide to Rojas. Looks like that may have come off a hand. Elliott was the one who was tied up. Rojas wins it. Swiveling infield Mametti. A picture-perfect pass. Kasule in, out by Palacios. It's a corner. Will be the fourth of the match for Red Bulls 2. Total now up to 9 shots in the game to only 2. With their opposition on the day, Columbus Crew 2. And the home side facing even more pressure. Low and within swing. Didn't clear the first obstacle. Sirwada. Marcelo Morales. Charging on for Rojas. In by Rojas. Headed on and somehow guided wide. Colawaso can't believe he did not meet the mark. It was such a well-measured ball by Andy Rojas, cutting in onto the right foot. Colawaso had slipped the leash of his marker and put himself in the flight of the ball, just unable to summon the connection necessary to put it on target. And that really is letting off the hook for Columbus Crew 2, who easily could be down 1-0. And just for confirmation, Anthony Alloway has rejoined the action and is able to continue after picking up a bit of a knock. Nearly an hour in, both sides unchanged from how they started the contest. Twisting and tilting. Marcelo Morales. A switch of the point. Sirwada's going to have to wait on it. Flicks it by the first wave of pressure. Pumps it ahead. Jimenez affixes himself to the ball. A series of juggles and dribbles. Sirwada with bright ideas and a testing, teasing ball in. Lapkus will put to rest with much ease. Palacios, who at one point came up with a little bit of a wobble in the first half, is testing himself again before play restarts. Rogers in for Alloway. Contested by Sirwada. It's a throw-in for Columbus. Sirwada with a bit of gamesmanship to kick the ball away so that throwing could not be taken swiftly. I think you might say the word is amused. Fede Higuain as a change is made. Day done. Marcelo Morales is off. He made quite the impacts, but he makes a spot so that Matthew Dos Santos can join up. Dos Santos, who scored 2 games ago against NYCFC 2, will shore things up as he joins the fray, the first substitution made by either team. Red Bulls 2 have used 38 substitutions in the 9 games they've played preceding this, just about 4 of the 5 allotted game in, game out. Understand the taxation that their style of play requires and know what it certainly takes to keep that freshness in the team. It's Brooklyn Schwartz who's going to be connected to the foul as connecting themselves in the attack, or Columbus Crew 2. Quentin Elliott gains purchase of the ball in the box. Morocco cutting in. Snatched away. Rojas taken off his feet. And Rogers, a chance to roam. Alloway, Sawada closing quickly. Pinballs back to Alloway. The cutback is sniffed out. It was Mehmeti who headed things off. A great touch from Kasule. Now Jimenez crossing the formation. Kasule busting along to get wide. In for Jimenez. Jimenez calculating. Percolating. Now Jarvis. Calvary arriving for Red Bulls 2. Sawada catching up. Just off the beat the whole way though, Red Bulls 2. No matter now, Jarvis intervening. A clever ball, Kasule. Hooked in the cross, Jimenez just late to it. Dodged away by Palacios, and clearance is finalized by Owen Prestis. An hour gone now. Jarvis driving in. Over the top for Jimenez. Took a plunge at it. Unable to plunge in on goal though. And Palacios has dropped to his backside. A chance to look back at the chance that nearly was. As Red Bulls 2 struck out. And by the crafty creativity of Rojas, nearly found a way through. Dropped in over the shoulder of Jimenez, who just stuck out a leg in an attempt to get the redirection. And we'll see what Fede Higuain is able to do in terms of shuffling the equation if Palacios is unable to continue. That back three has been sturdy and sound, much by the virtue of Palacios in the middle of those center backs. It looks like Dylan Randazzo is the understudy that will be tabbed to come into the game for Columbus Crew 2.
Into the game for the Crew 2, number 71, Dylan Randazzo replaces number
he does come on.
Palacios.
Dylan Randazzo injected into the game, all of 18 years old. We'll see if that stirs up how the back line is set up. Chris Rogers would be the most likely to step into the middle of the back three if that is the choice of Higuain. It looks like for the time being, Randazzo will be the central sentinel. And you'd have to imagine Red Bulls 2 with their pressing efforts would test him early to see what his mettle is. Alloway. Morocco, a heady veteran player by MLS NEXT Pro standards, trying to settle things as he stirs the drink again from the throw. Morocco on loan last year with Colorado Springs Switchbacks in the USL Championship. Was party to their championship charge, in fact. Put a big part in their playoff run, had an assist against Orange County SC in an overtime thriller. Played in 3 of those 4 games in the postseason for Colorado Springs Switchbacks and has firmly planted himself in the mix for Crew 2 this year. Had an assist last game, in fact, Cole Morocco. Vertiv, official data center equipment provider of the Columbus Crew. Kasule. Still Kasule. Took aim, took it wide. Almost shocking with how readily these two teams have found the back of the net this year that there has not been a goal. The game feels like it's screaming for it. Red Bulls 2 have done a great job of making things difficult for Columbus Crew 2. So far in this period of play, in the second half, Red Bulls, too, have had about 65% of the possession. This is the first real advance into attacking territory in some time for Crew 2. They've outcrossed their opposition today, the road side, Red Bulls 2, by a total of 13-2. They've consistently been prying at the edge of the box. They've just been unable to open things up. Maybe approaching that chance to shake things up, though, Crew 2, as the ball is driven away. Again, this doesn't really happen to Red Bulls 2. They've only been shut out by 3 teams ever. And they're tenure in MLS NEXT Pro. But it's becoming a realistic chance for Columbus Crew 2. Feels like they might be barraged a bit down the stretch. Back into the mix. Somebody's gone tumbling into the frame of goal, and hopefully everybody's all right. It's always a scary sight. You saw the goal frame buckle a bit in the commotion. Luckily, the Red Bulls 2 player is back up to their backside, going for the Olympico there. And it's just a flush connection with the woodwork straight away. Looked like that was Kolawase. Hopefully he's just shaken up a bit and can shake back. Referee's going to tell him he needs to be examined off the field of play, and down to 10 men for the moment, Red Bulls 2. Looks like things are ready to resume. He's just taking a sip of water as Kolawase. Kolawase re-grabbing his starting spot. Prior to last game, had only played 2 minutes in the 3 matches preceding the Revolution 2 tie. Played 84 minutes in that game and was able to get the start. Has been sound at the back, has even added some moments of inspiration in the attack so far today. Hopefully he's able to carry on. Once more, it's Red Bulls 2 down to 10 men for the time being. Alloway in behind. Grabs hold, Sawada pinches it back, and whistle will never come there. Rojas on the other end. Red Bulls racing. And that's dragged back by Prestis. The ebb and flow. Nothing comes from it though. Aiden Stokes now. Sawada. Bit of friendly fire from Crew 2, but they are able to take hold of possession.
And let me know when you go to another replay. I got to hit the filter again, I think.
Kolawase does look ready to continue and come back on. Next opportunity, Alloway. Slinging switch of play. And out for a corner kick. Could that prove a costly error, that misplayed header at the back? It looked like it was from Matthew Dos Santos. For only the third time in the game, it's a corner kick for Crew 2. Kolawase allowed to rejoin ahead of it. Within swing. A strong header. Not all the way clear, but now it is. Only as far as Maraca. Out to the wide side, Rincon is dispossessed. Performance Columbus family of dealerships, proud partner of the Columbus Crew. Neither side in the driver's seat to date, though. Still 0-0, still scoreless, not for lack of trying. Almost able to get there in time was Jimenez, but that's because maybe he had a head start. I think the flag is up. Jimenez has gone to grounds. Jimenez was really flying at full speed, got to top gear quickly there. It's a sudden string of injuries that are slowing the tempo of the contests. Here's what happens. Jimenez just looked like he broke stride a bit at the top of his run. Immediately came up with a hobble and then fell over. And in some discomfort as the referee was immediately over to bring the physios on. We hear Jimenez, who's struggled to find a foothold, make a real impact today, coming off a game that saw him score a goal against Revs 2, acquiring the attention of the referee and the treatment staff of Red Bulls 2. If they were to make a change, Sekagaya, the manager at the roadside today. Tim Rossborough seems a suitable option, a more widely deployed forward player, but the culprit of a pair of goals last time out. He's on the bench today. Team's leader in that department, the goal scoring with 4 on the year, been up and down between the senior team and the second squad. Jimenez is unable to keep on. Only saw 1 minute of stoppage time in the first half. You would imagine there might be a more healthy helping in the second 45 as we start to approach that period. And as mentioned, it will be Rossborough who comes on to replace Jimenez. Jimenez assisted off, and well wishes to him. Hopefully not a significant injury on this day in Columbus, Ohio. Here comes Rossborough, and a chance to make a change as well for Columbus Crew 2.
For New York, number 66, Tanner Roseboro.
And it's Cooper Flannery, who comes into the game for his first real introduction to action on the year. It's Ortiz who makes way for him. Sneaking away out of the back. Dalzo's giving it away. Could prove costly. Kasule unable to wrap himself around it. An undercutting from Mehmeti, who's claiming he had no illegal contact there, but the foul is awarded. It was Sai who was toppled over. Maraca. Rogers, Alloway wriggles away from Sawada, slides in a pass. Adujianfi is escorted away from goal. Kulawase has him around the waist. Kulawase, a one-man army. Defies the attack of Columbus Crew 2. Takes it out of play for a goal kick. Wonderful defending from him. Jair Kulawase take a bow. Maybe a little bit physical, taking the risk there with Adujianfi. But once on balance, was not to be undone. Quickly answering the only real inquiry in some time for Crew 2. Interplay of pristine proportion for Red Bulls 2. Ball into the box. Rojas! It was a skipping stone. Lapkus holding his nerve. Into the final 15 minutes. That's a risky pass. Players down for Columbus Crew 2 and no advantage presenting immediately. Rincon was sent to the pitch, and that's going to be a last warning for Ibrahim Kasule. Here's the try from Rojas. It was some venom as it flipped up off the pitch. Morocco set up in no man's land for a little bit, but Randazzo does well. In by Elliott. By Schwartz. Rincon now. Rifling wide. Alloway is in. Alloway scraping wide. It's inches, if that. Raked it all the way across the goal mouth and somehow left it outside the far stick. Hayden Stokes was just a passenger. It was a marvelous feed wide from Rincon. And seconds that took an eternity as it just dribbled and dribbled and dribbled. Eventually unable to meet the mark. Maybe that lifts the spirits, though, of Crew 2. Put some wind in the sails. Certainly drew a bit of blood there. Randazzo. Long strides from Rogers and Morocco. Morocco tuning a pass in. Just tapped away. Rossborough hungry to try and latch on. Benedetti left it in a dangerous pathway. Rincon walked ahead for Elliott. And tracing the steps, stride for stride, was Dos Santos. Rogers. Rincon. Rincon getting around Elliott. Ball flowing to him for his effort. Elliott dusting by the defender. Stokes is up for it. Saw him charging up his leap as soon as the ball hit its apex. Dispatches for Sirwada. Mehmeti, a soul roll and a slicing stab wide. Rojas and Mehmeti linking the play again, breaking another line. Benedetti. Sprinting in was Rojas, and how did he get the tackle precisely right? It was the defender Elliott who did. It is a corner though. How much can Columbus Crew 2 withstand? Hangs high. Mehmeti stabbing at it. Kasule, it's blocked off the line. Immense defensive work. Chris Rogers. A giant intervention. This was on track and hit with real sting, and Rogers just reacted almost impulsively to put a shin pad to it. Bulls 2 though, with wide eyes and big bellies, hungry for the go-ahead goal, and taken wide. Aiden Jarvis arrived on the scene but opened up too much. Jarvis was in the right space, had time enough to meet the ball. Maybe too much time, thought about it a tad too much there. Holloway keeps it on. That may prove a dangerous decision, and in fact it is out for a throw. That probably works to Crew 2's benefit. Into the final 10 minutes, you would imagine, again, pretty decent amount of stoppage time coming. Advantage played. Mendoza had committed the foul. In for Rojas. Rojas weaving and whittling. Aiden Jarvis charging up. Off the deflection, and Lapkus makes a fair catch. And sees a man upfield. Only 2 players back for Red Bulls 2, but one of them is Schwartz, who wins that war of wills. Jarvis. Shawana. Jarvis again. And it poked free. Did Rojas. It was Ibrahim Sai. Ibra Sai. He was able to apply the touch. Rincon, Elliott. Rojas is undercut. Instant reaching for the pocket. That's going to be a booking. Quentin Elliott has his name taken for the first time this year. Left the leg out for Rojas to fall over. And beyond the 80th minute, you'd imagine the referee might be a little bit less stingy in terms of taking names. Another yellow card is going to be shown to somebody, it looks like, on the Crew 2 bench. Not quite sure specifically who that was directed to, but it certainly was not one of the players that's in the field of play. Confirmation of the yellow card that preceded it to Quentin Elliott. Take some loft to get it into the box and create some tension on goal. Red Bulls 2 here. Saw Marcelo Morales take a lot of the dead balls early on. He's come out of the game, so it belongs to Rojas. Into the area, it's a searching delivery, and the foul is going to be committed by Schwartz going for it.
The yellow card has been assessed to Crew 2, number 32, Quentin Elliott, his first of the match. And the yellow card has been assessed to the Crew 2 head coach, his first of the match.
It's actually going to be Fede Higuain, who is booked for Columbus Crew 2. The word is offside. Giampi ventured beyond the last man. Gliding away back into the box. Got a little bit nervy there for Prestis, but he does ultimately sort it out. Shawana stepping in and snagging the ball. Alloway's back to get in front of him. Steven Shawana. He's crumpled, falling to the ground, and a free kick is the award.
Substitution for New York. Entering
New York
the game,
will
number
make
92, Dennis Nelic.
one more change.
Replaces number 39, Newen Benedetti.
Benedetti out, Dennis Nelic coming in. Penalty kicks on the horizon unless Red Bulls 2 can find some inspiration here. Working out the plan, Mametti. Here's Matthew Dos Santos. Neither have an assist so far this season. Be a great time to get number one. 86 minute 0-0. Two-man wall. Alloway and Rincon. Stout in defense with Lapkus off his line. Dos Santos rolls it short, gets it right back. Not sure what the plan was there. Came hot potato before putting it firmly into the chest of the goalkeeper. Alloway. Rogers and Lapkus. Hard charging is Nelic, fresh into the game. Stretching those fresh legs. Forces the giveaway. Now, by my shoddy accounting, with leniency in case this is not the correct case, but I'm fairly certain it is, if it holds this way, it would only be the second 0-0 in the history of New York Red Bulls 2 in MLS Next Pro. It's Jarvis with other thoughts for the time being. They did win that shootout 5-4 back in 2023 against New England Revolution 2. Here's Jarvis, or rather that, actually Rojas, who's chopped down harshly by Rogers. That might be a cheap giveaway of a free kick. It's a yellow card. And although it's tight to the box, it would be difficult technique to get it up and down over the wall. This is a real chance here for Red Bulls 2.
A yellow card has been assessed to crew 2, number 55.
Rogers, such a heady and experienced player. The only player on this team to play all 720 league minutes so far this year, may have provided a serious outlet to the opposition to go forth and win this game. Gonna back the wall off a bit. I imagine that's going to be quite helpful for Matthew Dos Santos. So he casts his shadow over the ball, standing firmly in the spotlight. Center stage, all eyes on him ahead of this free kick. He has scored twice this season, the Brazilian. Joined up with Red Bulls at the academy level at 9 years of age. This would be a seminal memory. Sitting on his left foot, Matthew Dos Santos! In! Beyond belief! The Bulls are flying in Ohio! Jaw on the floor stuff from Matthew Dos Santos at the death. Out of this galaxy. Over the wall, off the woodwork, into side netting, and into glory for Matthew Dos Santos. You do not hit them better than that. A sterling strike shakes the whole thing up at a stoppage time. Wow. Just wow. Matthew Dos Santos, the main character. And it looks like that's lifted the creative inspiration of Rojas, who puts it in behind Rossborough and held by Lapkus. The board about to pop up.
On the sideline has indicated a minimum 5 minutes.
It's only 5 minutes of stoppage time. That is a stingy allowance, if you will, for Crew 2 to dig themselves out. Everything forward now. Sirwada smashing away. Rossborough juking away from trouble. Numbers flying in formation on the counter. Nelic on approach. The back post ball. Rojas down. Momeni blocked on the way. Alloway. Still pressing to the very last moment, Red Bulls 2. It is just their nature. There is some rationale in that approach. If you can engage the ball away from your own goal, obviously would prefer that than absorbing pressure on your doorstep. Sirwada taking it in. Kasule with the outside of the boot. Running along is Rojas. Lassoing touches as he circles towards the corner. Oh, what skill. Rojas paying the price as he boldly charges in and wins the free kick for his side. Precious seconds ebbing away. You could hear a pin drop in this place. It's Matthew Dos Santos. That is the difference in as many as 3 words and 1 kick of the ball. Sirwada in communication with his manager as he places players in and around the 18-yard box ahead of this free kick. Momeni conducting towards the corner. Rojas turning away from Elliott and taking it towards the corner flag where he holds it up well. Tick, tick, tick. He wins the throw. Neither side blinked for 90 minutes. Red Bulls, though, have disoriented their opposition. They held their focus just a little bit longer. Trying to take command in stoppage time. Free kick is won. Last chance saloon time for Columbus Crew 2. A high header from Schwartz. Is there a moment of magic for the home side? This venue has seen plenty down the years. Nearly given away. Falls kindly for Crew 2 as they continue to pattern. Ibrasai. Just not on the same page. Nelic. Unable to lay ownership to the ball. And Crew 2 into the final minute, down a goal. Down by Quentin Elliott, off the back heel to Morocco. And he's dispossessed. Rojas. Cassoulet. Had to get that tackle right. One last chance for Columbus Crew 2. Adu Giamfi. Blocked on the way. Schwarz not only gets the block, but gets the clearance as well. End credits at the ready. Is there a twist in the tail? Prestis. Rogers. Beyond the 95 allowed for by the referee. Morocco with swing. Swept up. Back into the box. Sawada's going to let it lie. Keeper never came. A glance at the watch. Alloway unable to wriggle away. Sawada infield. Jarvis. Widened out. On we go. Rojas. The end. The breathless ends. Red Bulls 2 win the race. Matthew Dos Santos does the doing and secures all 3 points. He is really, without question, an absolution in this statement here, the man of the match. It is a single second of stunning brilliance. Off the posts and into the headlines for Matthew Dos Santos. The 16-year-old will not forget that strike of the ball. Those points could prove pertinent at the end of the story once this season comes to a close. Crew 2 unable to keep the momentum of recent results. Red Bulls 2, much to write home about. For our entire MLS Next Pro broadcast crew, again, I've been Peyton Gallagher. Once again, our final score is 1-0. Red Bulls 2 take it on the road. Don't forget, you can watch MLS Next Pro all season long and MLS Season Pass on Apple TV and MLSNextPro.com. Folks, we'll talk to you soon. Good night.
This copyrighted broadcast of Major League Soccer may not be retransmitted, reproduced, or rebroadcast without the express written consent of Major League Soccer.